Hare Krishna, welcome everyone to our Nectar devotion class. So we'll start our class with our prayers. Om Jnanatimirandhasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshuranmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamahyam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Jata Padakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrajata सहगणा रघुनाथान्वितं तं सजीवं साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनसहितं कृष्णचैतन्यदेवं श्रीराधा कृष्णपादान् सहगणा ललिता श्रीविशाखान्वितांश्च हे कृष्णा करुणा सिन्धु दीनबन्धु जगत्पते गोपेश गोपिकान्त राधाकान्त नमोस्तुते तप्तकाञ्चन गौराङ्गी राधे वृन्दावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। नमो विष्णुपादाय कृष्णपृष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्त स्वामिनिति नामिने नमस्ते सरस्वती देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्यदेशतारिणे जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासदि गौर भक्तवृंद हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्णा। वेलकम एवरीवन to our nectar of devotion class. So yesterday we discussed the third chapter of nectar of devotion, and in the third chapter Srila Prabhupada describes the eligibility for practicing devotional service. And first of all, he says that the attraction to Krishna is the only eligibility for the practice of devotional service. And that attraction comes by the mercy of the devotees. When the devotees, they show mercy, then somebody can get attracted to this process of devotional service. And they may be at the different levels based on the level of their faith. And in this, Rupa Goswami describes that there are three levels of devotees: Kanishtha, Madhyama, and Uttama. So, and we saw the classification of these three types of devotees based on their faith and based on their knowledge. Uttama Adhikari has very strong faith. He is firmly convinced and he can convince others. As far as knowledge is concerned, his knowledge of scriptures is very strong and he can defeat any strong opinion. Madhyam Adhikari's faith is very strong, but his knowledge of scriptures is not so good. And he cannot defeat in argument others' opinions. He has this uh, theoretical knowledge, but the applicational knowledge is less. He does not have that knowledge by which he can apply these principles in the current circumstances. And this Kanishta Adhikari, his faith is very weak, Komala Shraddha, and he has very little knowledge of the scriptures. And we saw that there are different classifications of Adhikaris given in different books. And we'll see that in Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu, Nectar of Devotion, Srimad Bhagavatam, and Chaitanya Charitamrita. These four books describe Uttama, Madhyama, and Kanishtha based on the various levels. So Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu, this book classifies these three levels of devotees based on their level of purification, their level of the development of faith. So Kanishta Adhikari is on the level of Anartha Nivritti. As we know, there are various stages in the path of devotional service. Adav Shraddha, Tata Sadhu Sangha, Tato Bhajan Kriya, Ata Anartha Nivritti Syat, Atha Sakti, Tata Nishtha, Ruchis Tatha, Atha Sakti, Tata Bhava, Tata Premadhyudanchati, Sadhakanam Ayam Premna Pradur Bhavet Kram Kram. So, beginning from Shraddha to Prema, there are various levels. And Shraddha then leads to Sadhu Sangha, then Bhajan Kriya, then Anartha Nivritti starts. So, Kanishta Adhikari is still on the level of Anartha Nivritti. Madhyamadhikari also is on the level of anartha nivritti. And after one crosses this stage of anartha nivritti, then he rises to asakti till at the level of uttama adhikari. Nectar of instruction describes that uttama adhikari is on the level of bhava and above, and then madhyam adhikari, he is between anartha nivritti to asakti. He is on the process of purification of the anarthas. And the Kanishta Adhikari, he is between Shraddha and Anartha nivritti. Because he has very little Shraddha, he starts the process, associates with the devotees, and then starts the bhajan kriya. And based on that, he is still undergoing the process of beginning the stages of Anartha nivritti. And we saw the definition of these three levels of devotees based on Bhagavatam also. Uttam Adhikari sees everyone on equal level. He is at the level of Bhava and Prema. Then Madhyam Adhikari, he discriminates between four levels of devotees. And Kanishta Adhikari, he is concerned four levels of people. Madhyam Adhikari is relating to four different levels. He loves God, he makes friends with devotees, he shows mercy to the innocent, and he neglects the envious. Kanishta Adhikari, he is considered only with, he related only with deity worship. He thinks Bhagwan or मैं बीच में कोई नहीं आना चाहिए. And then we saw the definition of Chaitanya Charitamrita also, where Chaitanya Mahaprabhu describes these three levels of devotees at two different occasions. So then we saw about this Kanishta Adhikari, and then Srila Prabhupada, he describes that there are four types of pious people who have pious credits that is called Sukriti. They come to the process of Krishna consciousness. And Srila Prabhupada, he describes that when these four types of devotees, four types of people, pious people, when they come in touch with devotees, then they can start the process of Krishna consciousness. For example, when Dhruv Maharaj, he got mercy of Narad Muni, and then he did his tapasya, he got darshan of the Lord, he became devotee. Gajendra, he had association of devotees in his past life. He was greedy to attain the sweetness of the Lord, and therefore he gave up the desire of getting liberated from suffering, and he became a pure devotee. For Kumaras, when they went to Vaikuntha and they smelled the fragrance of the lotus leaf, tulsi leaf, which is offered at the lotus feet of the Lord, they became transformed and they gave up the desire of Brahmananda. They became devotees. When the sages of Naimisharanya, when they heard from Suta Goswami, who was a pure devotee, so they all these sages, they had some desire for liberation, some desire for knowing about heavenly pleasures also. They got liberated from all those desires. And therefore we saw how wisdom and renunciation, they are not an impediment, because by the process of bhakti, these two comes automatically. And we saw that the disqualification of bhakti is the desire for enjoyment and desire for impersonal liberation. And we saw in the end of this third chapter, Rupa Goswami describes there are 30, he quotes 30 verses which supports that moksha labhata krit. Moksha labhata krit means the happiness of devotional service is so great that the devotee rejects bhakti and mukti. And then one of the first verses he quotes is from the Sri Chaitanya Siksha Ashtakam. And now we'll continue. So in this first chapter, in this third chapter, what is described here, at the stage of sadhana bhakti, what is required to begin, mercy of devotees is required. And if we want to advance in the Vaidhi sadhana bhakti, then we have to become mature in the knowledge of scriptures. And we should have more and more faith in the scriptures. And then to practice pure devotional service, what is required? We have to be free from the bodily concept, that is bhukti and mukti. So now we'll continue in this fourth chapter The further quotes which describes that devotional service surpasses all liberation. So in this chapter, there are two things which are discussed. The references of devotees rejecting bhukti and mukti, and it is described that devotees of Vrindavan, they reject all the desires of liberation, even Vaikuntha. And in that we'll see why the devotees of Vrindavan, they reject even Vaikuntha. What are the qualities which Krishna has, which not even Vishnu has, not even any other Devata has. So that we'll see. So first of all, what is the theme of this chapter? So Srila Rupa Goswami, Srila Prabhupada, he describes the theme of this chapter in the beginning of the chapter number 5, in the next chapter. So there Prabhupada writes, all the previous instructions imparted by Srila Rupa Goswami in his broad statements can be summarized thus. As long as one is materially inclined or desirous of merging into the spiritual effulgence, one cannot enter into the realm of pure devotional service. So this is the theme of this chapter, that we should transcend and try to rise above this desire for sense gratification. Because Bhagavad Gita, Krishna has described sense gratification of this world leads to misery. Yehi samsparshaja bhoga dukkha yonaya evate. So dukkha yonaya evate. As Prabhupada had said many times, sense gratification and Krishna consciousness goes ill together. And especially in this chapter, Srila Rupa Goswami will quote around 23 verses describing how a devotee rejects any type of bhukti, any type of mukti. And we'll discuss few of these verses. So when we carefully analyze these verses, these verses reveal a variety of reasons why devotional service is so very great that a devotee is not even interested in liberation, impersonal liberation. And when we hear these verses, when we discuss these verses inspire the devotees to reject all the desires for bhukti and mukti. So, the very first verse which Rupa Goswami quotes is a verse from 4th canto, where King Prithu Maharaj, who was incarnation of Krishna himself, he was the administrative potency of the Lord who appeared in this world. And in this verse, King Prithu, he is describing in a very sweet way how he is longing to hear the holy names of the Lord. He says, Nakama yena tadapyaham kvachin. He says, Oh my Lord, I do not want to have benediction of even merging into Brahman, because Nayatra Yushmata Charanam Pujasava, because in liberation there is no chance to serve your lotus feet. I cannot relish the nectar of your lotus feet, because from your serving your lotus feet gives lots of happiness, lots of bliss. Mahattamantar hridayanmukachyuto vidhatsu karna yutaveshamevaraha. So he says, I want a benediction of karna ayuta. I want millions of years to hear your glories which are spoken by your great devotees. So therefore, it is very important to understand that Krishna Katha should be heard only from devotees. You know. So therefore, all the devotees, great devotees of the Lord, they again and again say, I want to hear your Katha, your pastime from devotees, not from non-devotees. Somebody may say, what is the problem? Even if somebody is a non-devotee, even if somebody is a Mayavadi, what is the problem in hearing Krishna Katha from him? He is speaking Krishna Katha. So the scriptures they describe, they warn us why we should not hear from anyone who is not in our Gaudiya Vaishnava Parampara. Avaishnava Mukhodgirnam Putam Harikathamitam Shravanam Naiva Kartavyam Sarpochishta Yathapaya. So this verse describes if somebody is not a Vaishnava. So therefore we should hear from those people who are Vaishnavas, who are in any of the four sampradayas, we can hear from them. And especially because we are in a Gaudiya Vaishnava Parampara, we should be loyal to our Parampara. We should try to hear only from devotees who are in our line, because these kathas which are told by devotees in our line, they nourish our loyalty, our trust in our parampara. And of course, we can hear from other sampradayas also, but not from a Vaishnava. Who is not a devotee, we should not hear. In TV channels, there are so many shows, Sanskar, Asta, and so many people, so many sadhus, saints are speaking. And it seems that they are speaking right, proper philosophy. What is the problem? Because many times there are many people who speak lots of Mayavad also, and we will not even realize that this is a Mayavad philosophy. Because to understand Mayavad philosophy requires a particular level of realization of scriptures. But somebody may say, but if I am not understanding this is Mayavad, how it will affect us? So the scriptures they give example. Sarpochishta yathapayaha. Milk is nourishing. But if a milk is touched by a serpent, we will not even realize that this milk has become poisonous. And the result will be our whole existence will be destroyed. So therefore, that Prithu Maharaj is saying, I want to hear your katha from your devotees. Therefore, I want millions of years. Similar verse was spoken by Rupa Goswami also. So in that verse, Rupa Goswami says, I want millions of tongues to chant your holy names, and I want millions of ears to hear those holy names. Because when the holy name enters through my ear, it resides on the neck, on the flower of my heart, and all the senses become completely captured. So therefore, it is our responsibility being a Krishna conscious practitioner, a devotee in the Gaudiya Vaishnava Parampara in ISKCON, that we have to be eager to develop this taste for Harikatha. And it starts with chanting and hearing. So at present, it may feel that this is very far away thing. And I don't know when I'll get. But why we are not able to relish this taste? Because we are not chanting at a proper level. We are not chanting attentively. Mahatma Prabhu is one of the very senior Prabhupada disciples. He gives around 25 types of courtesy japa. Courtesy japa means japa karne ke liye karte hain. And in those types of japas, we are not focused. One type he says is to-do list. When we are chanting, we are making the whole days of work list. What I'll be doing in my whole day. Other type of japa, he says is I hate him japa. Some of the devotees they criticized us and they told some bad thing. And while chanting, whole meditation is, he hurt me so bad. How can he do this? This is not good. And other type of japa is I am right. Some devotee said something and we said, yeah, I was right. Why he did that to me? Other is firing blank mantras japa many times, because we know chanting of holy names is not different from Krishna. Nam and Nami, they are not different. But that will happen when we are conscious of Krishna while chanting. Many times we are just chanting, moving our lips. Krishna is not there in picture. That is called blank mantra. It's like blank bullets. Those bullets will not have any effect. Similarly, our chanting of mantras, when we are inattentive, it is like firing blank bullets. It will not have any effect. Sometimes the devotees they do creative japa. Japa session is like a brainstorm. Brainstorm. Many of us have experienced when we are chanting, a whole storm of creative ideas they come in our mind, and we think, oh, these are the best ideas I have ever got. So let me write it down. So that is the way mind tricks us. Because somebody was sharing, once I wrote all the thoughts which were coming in the japa period, and later I realized most of the thoughts are useless thoughts. Most of the options which was given by the mind during the japa time, they were of no use. So therefore, when Prithu Maharaj and Srila Rupa Goswami, he is desiring for millions of tongues. Sometimes we also desire, अरे दो माला दो हाथ में, आठ इधर हो जाएगा, आठ माला खत्म. So, but that is our consciousness sometimes. That फटाफट हो जाएगा. Somebody said to me, 16 माला 16 हाथ होना चाहिए था, एक एक माला में सब खत्म. So Prithumar is not speaking that way. He is speaking that I want to chant more. Give me millions of years to hear more. And sometimes devotees, when they are coming new in Krishna consciousness, they have all the crazy ideas. One of the boys in one of the colleges, so we told him that you start chanting, and you chant and hear. And more important, and it will be most beneficial when you chant purely without any distraction. Then somebody told that Srila Prabhupada is a pure devotee and his chanting is pure. So what he would do, he would put Prabhupada chanting tape in his ears, and he would just sit quietly. He would move beads. As Prabhupada is chanting, he is moving his beads. So all these funny ideas devotees they get in the beginning years of Krishna consciousness. But we should know, if we are not eager and attentive to chant, we will not be able to reach at that stage. And Mahatma Prabhu was saying that, we have 10 offenses against the holy names. There are actually 11 offenses. And number 11th offense is to have your mobile phone on when you are chanting. That is most difficult part. So this is how a devotee, Prithu Maharaj is saying, I do not want to merge into liberation, like impersonal Brahman. Now, second is the prayer which was done by Vritrasura. Vritrasura, who was Chitraketu in his past life, he was cursed to become a demon. But still, as a demon, he had all the consciousness, all the remembrance of his past life. And he says very beautiful verse. Nanaka prishtam nachaparameshtyam na sarvabhavam narasadhipatyam na yoga siddhim na punarbhavam va samanjasatva virahaya kankshe. Nanaka prishtam, oh my Lord, I do not want to enjoy in Dhruvaloka. I do not want to enjoy even in the planet where Brahma resides. I do not want the rulership of all this earthly planet. I do not want the rulership of all the lower planetary systems also. I do not want any mistakes with these. I do not want to merge in Brahman. Only, what do I want? I want to serve your lotus feet. So Chakravarti Pad writes that the sequence in which these things are asked by Vritrasur, there is a progression from the highest to the lowest. So the desire for liberation is the lowest of all the desires a devotee can have. Even going to Brahmalok or Brahmalok or Dhruvalok or rulership of entire world, that is still okay. But lowest is to merge in Brahman because there is no service there. And then in the pastime of Chitraketu Maharaj, when Chitraketu was cursed by Parvati, that you are behaving like a demon, because Chitraketu, once he was flying on his airplane, he was blessed to become a Gandharva. He saw a scene where Parvati was sitting on the lap of Lord Shiva, and Lord Shiva is giving a discourse to all the renunciants. So Chitraketu Maharaj, he was amused to see this scene, and he smiled. So Parvati, as a chaste wife, she could not, accept this, and she cursed Chitraketu that this is a very very demoniac mentality. You are criticizing my most worshipable husband, who is worshipped by all the worlds. You become a demon. But when Chitraketu was cursed, he did not have any lamentation. On the contrary, he came and offered obeisances to Mother Parvati. And he said, "O Mother, Everything in this world is happening under the modes of material nature. Guna pravaha etasmin kah shapa kah anugraha kah sarga narkah kova kim sukham dukkham eva. Oh my, oh mother, in this world everything is happening under the three modes of material nature. What is heaven? What is hell? What is happiness? What is distress? It is all same. So I accept whatever curse you have given me, and then he left to become a demon. Then after Chitraketu Maharaj left, Rudra, Lord Shiva, he is telling to Mother Parvati, just see the glorious position of the devotees of Lord Narayan. Narayan para sarve na kutaschana vidyati swarga apavarga narakeshu api tulyat darshanam. So devotees who are engaged in the devotional service of the Supreme Lord, they never fear any condition of life. The devotional service makes a devotee fearless. So because in current scenario, people are so very fearful about this corona situation. Oh, what will happen? What will happen? But devotee, he has full faith that whatever is happening in my life, it is happening by the will of the Lord, and I do not have to fear. Of course, I'll do the needful. I'll take all the precautions, but devotee is not having unnecessary fear. Devotees have a healthy fear, but not unnecessary fearful, unnecessary distressed and stressed, because they have faith in Lord Krishna. Narayan Para. They are completely devoted to Lord Narayan. So therefore, for them, Swarga, Apavarga and Naraka. Swarga means heaven, Apavarga means liberation, impersonal liberation, or Naraka, hellish planets. They are all same. Api Tulyarth Darshanam, because such devotees, they are interested only in the service of the Lord. So then Rupa Goswami quotes another example, another verse where Indra is saying that the devotees, they do not desire anything apart from service of the Lord. Then Prahlad Maharaj is telling to his classmates that, oh my dear friends, sons of the demons, devotees of the Supreme Lord, they do not hanker for dharma, artha, kama and moksha. They are interested only in service of the Lord. Indra is praying to Narsimhadev after Narsimhadev killed Hiranyakashipu. Lord Indra and everybody else, they were offering prayers. So Indra, he says that for persons who are engaged in your devotional service, O my Lord, they are not fearful of any situation in this world. They do not want any of the material opulences. They do not want even liberation. So they are only interested in service of the Lord. So therefore, you have to understand that there are so many devotees who are saying that there is some happiness which is much more than the happiness of this material world. Only thing is, we have to experience that. Now, another verse which is spoken by Gajendra. So, Gajendra, he was also a great devotee in the past life. Somehow, because of some mistake which he committed unknowingly, he was cursed by one rishi to become an elephant. And as he was enjoying his life in the heaven with all his family, one time he was bathing in the Mandakini Ganga. And in the Mandakini Ganga, as he was bathing, he was caught by a crocodile. And he was trying to come out of that clutches of the crocodile. He was fighting for 1000 celestial years. After fighting for 1000 celestial years, he realized that now I cannot do it. And he started losing the battle. So he said, oh my Lord, he remembered his past life. That's the glory of devotional service. When somebody is practicing bhakti, there is no loss. Whatever we are doing, it is a permanent, eternal gain. Even if somebody practices for some time, the process of Krishna consciousness, that is a permanent bank account. It is there in his account always. And therefore, this Gajendra, he remembered his past life. And he started reciting prayers. He took one lotus flower which was there in the Ganga, and he raised his trunk very high, and he started offering prayers, his heartfelt prayers. So one of the prayers is this: Ekantino yasya kanchanartham vanchanti vai bhagavat prapanna atyadbhutam taccharitam sumangalam gayantyananda samudramagnaha. So Gajendra is speaking, Ekantinaha. Ekantina means those who are pure devotees of the Lord. Kunti Maharani also says that the devotees are akinchana. Namo akinchana vittaya nivritta guna vrittaye. You are the property of those who do not have possessive mentality. So ekantina means those who are pure devotees. These devotees, yasya na kanchanartham. They have no other desire than to serve the Lord. Vanchanti evai bhagavat prapanna. Because they are worshipping you, O my Lord, with full surrender. Therefore, those pastimes of Krishna, those pastimes of Supreme Lord, they are ati adbhutam. They are so very wonderful. And the qualities of Krishna, it is unimaginably auspicious. Charitam sumangalam gayantyananda samudra magnaha. And devotees, they always merge in the ocean of transcendental bliss. So therefore, when we hear and chant Krishna Katha, we automatically get transported from this material realm to the spiritual realm. Things and troubles of this world will not make us miserable. So therefore, we should just keep faith and keep going even if it does not make any sense. Many times the devotional service does not make sense. It goes beyond our logical understanding why I should do this. And in those situations, we should keep faith in scriptures, in words of God, keep going, keep doing, keep practicing the process of bhakti. Because Kaviraj Goswami describes, जेवा नाही बुझे के हा शून्यते से हा कि अद्भुत चैतन्य चरित कृष्ण उपजी वे प्रीति जानी बेर सेर रीति सुनि लई बड़ा होए हित ये बा नहीं बुझे the pastimes of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, they are so very beautiful, but they are so very inconceivable. If you are not able to understand the pastimes of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, what you have to do? Shunite seha. Just keep hearing, keep listening the pastimes. Yadbhuta Chaitanya Charita. The pastimes of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu are very, very wonderful. And if you hear those pastimes, what will be the result? Krishna upaji priti jani verasera riti. The love of God will appear in the heart. You will understand the intricate mellows of devotional songs. Shunilai bada hoye hita. And if you hear with faith, it will be very beneficial for you. So therefore, as practicing sadhaka, we should have full faith that these devotees, because they are offering so very heartfelt prayers, it is not fake. It is a truth. One time, there was one devotee practiced his whole life process of Krishna consciousness, and then at the end of his life, he somehow was, having some very terminal illness, and he was on his deathbed, unconscious. And suddenly he got up, opened his eyes, and he said, "Prabhupada has not cheated us." Again, he went back and left his body. So we should have full faith that the devotees of the Lord, Srila Prabhupada, and our Guru Paramparacharya Vrinda, they are giving actual bona fide authentic process. What we have to do is we have to just put faith in that, faith in the instructions. And when we hear such all these prayers of great devotees, it makes our faith very strong. Then another quotation is given by Rupa Goswami. He quotes from the ninth canto of Srimad Bhagavatam, where Lord Vishnu is saying himself to Durvasa Muni. Durvasa Muni was being chased by Sudarshan Chakra because Durvasa Muni offended Ambarish Maharaj. He went to so many places and ultimately he came to Lord Vishnu in Shweta Dvipa and he begged, "Please protect me from your Sudarshan Chakra." So Supreme Lord Vishnu said, "I cannot do anything. You have to go and ask forgiveness from Ambarish Maharaj. Because my devotee can only forgive you." There he says, my devotees, they are always satisfied in my loving devotion service. They are not interested in any of the five types of liberation. Salokya, Sarupya, Samipya, Sarishti, and what to speak of impersonal liberation. So therefore, devotees, they are not interested in any sense gratification of this world. The desire for sense gratification is so very deeply rooted, but when we keep on hearing this Krishna Katha in proper consciousness, with faith, with perseverance, with determination, then slowly these desires, the knot of these desires will slacken and will get cut off. Yasmin Satkanda Piyushe Yashas Tirtha Varesakrit Shrotanjalirupaspashya Dhunute Karmavasana. Satkarna Piyushe, when we hear Krishna Katha, then what will happen? Dhunute Karmavasana. Karmavasana, the desire for sense gratification, will slowly go away. This is the only way. There is no other way to purify our mind and senses. One person went to Prabhupada and said, Swamiji, my mind is very disturbed. And please tell me something. So Prabhupada, he told him the process of chanting, and he followed the four regular principles. He told him associate with devotees. And the main thing is chanting is the only way. But the person did not understand the answer. He kept on telling, oh, Swamiji, please tell me how can I control my mind? How can I control my mind? You know. So Prabhupada ultimately said, we don't have any medicine. This is the only medicine we have. This chanting of the holy names of the Lord. You know. So that is the only medicine we have. And we have to take shelter of this holy name with all our hearts, with all our attention, putting full faith in the words of Srila Prabhupada, full faith in the words of Guru Parampara, that whatever they are saying, it is not false. Vyasdev is sitting in the middle of the forest. What, uh, what is the reason? What may be the reason for him to write all these things? Just to fool people? No. He is there in the forest writing all the scriptures for the welfare of people in general. So therefore, we have to put faith in the words of these pure devotees. And therefore, here he's saying, Lord Vishnu himself saying, devotees are not interested in four principles of liberation. Four principles of liberation means these are the Salokya, Sarishti, Sarupya, and Samipya. So that when we get liberated from this material world, we may acquire any of these four types of uh, opulences. Salokya means we will get a chance to reside in the same planet as the Lord stays. Sarupya means we'll have the same bodily features as the Lord. Samipya means we'll have a chance to be with the Lord, close to the Lord. Sarishti means we'll have the same opulences as the Lord. So these are the four principles of liberation. Devotee is not interested in any of this. He is interested just in service of the Supreme Lord. And then he quotes a very beautiful verse from Nagpatnis. So if you see, this prayer comes three times. I'll just go back. This prayer of Vritrasur, where he says, I do not want anything. Nanakaprishtam, Nachaparamishtim, Nasarabhomam, Narasadipathyam, Nayoga Siddhim, Apunarbhavamba. Same prayer is spoken by Nagpatnis also. Nanakaprishtam, Nachasarabhomam, Nasparamishtim, Narasadipathyam. Nayoga Siddhe, Rapunarbhavan Vanchanti Yatpad Rajaprapanna. So she's also, all these ladies, they are also saying the same thing. Oh my Lord, oh Krishna, we do not want any of the things in this whole material creation. I do not want Dhruvaloka. I do not want the rulership of whole planet. I do not want even Brahma Loka. I do not want any of the Yoga Siddhis. We are only interested in Yat Pad Rajah Prapanna. We are only interested in serving the dust of your lotus feet. So what it means to serve the dust of the lotus feet of the Lord? That means to serve the devotees of the Lord. Devotees are more dear to the Lord, as it is described that Sadhavo Hridayam Mahyam Sadhunam Hridayam Tuham. Devotees are in the heart of the Lord, and Lord is in the heart of the devotees. As it is said, if you want to love me, love my dog. If you want to please the Lord, we have to please the devotees of the Lord. So therefore, the Monarch Patnis are saying, those who have attained the dust of your lotus feet do not hanker for any of these things. And Srila Prabhupada, he points three things in this chapter after this verse. He says that spiritual understanding, spiritual knowledge means understanding of the self and the super soul. That is the spiritual knowledge. So we have to understand what is knowledge. In 13th chapter of Bhagavad Gita also described what is knowledge. So there, Krishna has described the 20 points of knowledge, starting from amanitvam, adambhitvam, and the most important of these 20 points of knowledge was Mai Chananya Yogena Bhakti Avyavicharini. Avyavicharini Bhakti is the main constituent of all these knowledge. So therefore, there Prabhupada writes that the knowledge of Brahman is very difficult. And there are many philosophers, many jnanis who may attain this Brahman, but to become devotees all the more rare. Bahunam janmanamante jnanavan mam prapadyate. So therefore, we have to keep on reading the philosophy so that we understand how fortunate we are, how rare opportunity we have got, that we can attain the highest benefit in this human form of life. And if we keep on hearing, keep on practicing with faith, with enthusiasm, determination, and patience, then we will also develop a little faith over a period of time. Starhaya gharaya na ho batul krame krame pay lok bhava sindhu pool. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu told Raghunath Das Goswami that you stay at home, don't become unnecessarily mad. Slowly you will become detached from this family, detached from this material sense gratification. Don't worry. So that is the another thing which is described. So then the same verse again comes in the 11th canto also, where Lord Krishna is telling himself to Uddhava the same thing. The devotee who has offered his soul to me, Mai arpitatme chati mad vinanyat. He does not want anything if it is separate from me. What does he not want? Na parameshtyam, na mahendradhishyam, na sarvabhaumam, na rasadhipatyam, na yoga siddhir apunarbhavam. So same verses have come 3 times in the Bhagavatam. A devotee is not interested in any of the things of this world. And the last is no apunarbhavam. Devotees are not even thinking about liberation. That is the last thing. Because liberation stops all the opportunities for practicing bhakti. And then Rupa Goswami quotes this famous verse from Damodarashtakam also, where Satyavrat Muni is saying, I do not want liberation, varam deva moksham na mokshavadim va na chanyam vrineham vareshadapiha. So then what do I want? I do not want benedictions, I do not want liberation, na chanyam vrineham, anything else which is obtained by worshipping you. What do I want? Idam teva puranata gopala balam. So he says that I want to see your form as a Bal Gopal. So Vapuranatha Gopala. So in Jagannath Puri there is Jagannath. In Badri there is Badrinath. And so he's saying, I do not want Jagannath, I do not want Badrinath, I want Gopalnath. I want to see that form as a Bal Gopal in Vrindavan. And then another verse from Damodarashtakam, where Kuveratmajau Baddha Murtyevayatvat Tvayamocitau Bhakti Bhajau Kritau Cha Tatha Prema Bhaktim Swakammi Prayacha Namokshe Graho Mesti Damodareha. So there again, Satyavrat Muni is saying, I do not accept liberation. I just want to see and serve you. Toyamo chito bhakti. I want this prema bhakti. I do not want sadhana bhakti or bhava bhakti. I want prema bhakti. So that is what he gives. Then Rupa Goswami quotes this very, very famous verse from Hanumanji. Hanumanji is himself saying, I do not want liberation from this material world. I only want service at the lotus feet of the Lord, Ram. Bhavabandha chhadetasya sprahayami namuktaye. Spriha means desire. I do not want liberation because in liberation, Bhavan Prabhur Aham Dasa Ityatra Vilupyate. Because in liberation, the identity of you being the master and I being the servant is lost. So therefore, I do not want liberation. So therefore, when we are practicing process of Krishna consciousness, we have to understand that we are getting liberated from this material world, but after getting liberated from this material world, where are we going? Where we are liberated to? We are going to a place where Krishna is residing. So therefore, we have to know that if we are going to a place where Krishna is not there, we will not be able to serve Krishna. The goal of sadhana bhakti is to develop a sentiment of serving Krishna. And therefore, when we practice this Krishna consciousness, slowly and for sure, we will become purified. One time, one person came to Prabhupada and said, Swamiji, how many pure devotees are there in this world? So Tamal Krishna Maharaj was there. So Prabhupada asked him, so how many devotees are in ISKCON at present? So Tamal Krishna Maharaj said, Prabhupada, there are 700 devotees now all over the world. So Prabhupada told this person, there are 700 pure devotees in this world. So we have to understand it is just a matter of time. We will also become purified of all our anarthas. We have to just keep going, as it is said, that when a mango is there on the tree, what mango has to do? Just be there. बस लटके रहना है उसको. Similarly, we have to just hang on to the process. Krishna consciousness is the ticket, is the key to go back home, back to Godhead. So this is our ticket, chanting of the holy names. And Maya Devi, her only job is to convince us that the ticket which you have is fake. Just give me that ticket, I'll give you another one. So, and that is why she keeps on conversing. But we should be having all the faith that the chanting is the only way to go back home, back to Godhead. And when we'll go to the spiritual world, Jai Vijay will be standing and they will ask about our identity card. What is your identity? Without showing our identity card, you will not be allowed in Goloka. So there, or Vaikuntha. So then what is our identity? Our identity is Namo Vishnupadaya Krishna Prishthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Nitinamini Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharani Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshata. This is our identity. We are connected to Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada will personally come and welcome us to Goloka Vrindavan. So the process is there and we have to put the complete faith in the process and keep going. Therefore, in other words, Bhagavatam describes that among many millions who are liberated and perfect in knowledge of liberation, one becomes a devotee of Lord Narayan. And then, there is a prayer of Queen Kunti, which is also described, where Kunti is saying that, the pure devotees, they are very, very eager to render service to you. Tatha paramahamsana munina mamanatmanam. Those who are paramhamsas, those who are amalatmanam, you come to deliver those people. And then the last of all the quotations is a verse from first canto, 7th chapter, where it is described that even liberated souls get attracted to this process of bhakti. The 4 Kumaras, they were liberated. They did not even enter into a married life. when Lord Brahma, he told them to you procreate. So they rejected the proposal and they said we don't want to get entangled. But when they also smelled the aroma of the tulsi leaves, which was offered to the lotus feet of the Lord, they also transformed to become pure devotees. So therefore, Sutta Goswami says, Atma Ramascha Munayo Nirgrantha Purukrame Kurvantya Hetu Kim Bhaktim Itham Bhuta Guno Harihi. Atma Ram, those who are self-satisfied, Nirgrantha Api, especially those who are on the path of self-realization, those who are free from all the rules and prohibitions of the scriptures, they also desire to render unalloyed devotional. Ahetuki bhakti. So therefore, it shows that Lord has transcendental qualities and he can attract everyone, including the liberated souls. So after describing all this, now in the second part of this chapter, Srila Rupa Goswami describes about the devotees of Vrindavan. So the devotees of Vrindavan, they reject all the desires of liberation, even Vaikuntha. So there he describes that there are 5 types of liberation. We discussed Salukya, Sarishti, Samipya, Sarupya, Aikatvam. And then the devotees, they specifically reject the first type, that is becoming one with the Lord. So all these quotations prove that this impersonal liberation is the lowest. Devotees do not even look at that. So there is one time discussion between a devotee and Mukti Devi. So a devotee, he is chanting his round mala and he was meditating on the Lord. And because he is a devotee, so the Maya Mukti Devi, she becomes the servant of the devotees. So Mukti Devi comes and stands in front with folded hands. So suddenly the devotee realizes that somebody is there standing. He opened his eyes and he sees that there is one lady standing. So he asks, Katvam. Katvam means who are you? So Mukti Devi says that Mukti Rupagata Asmi Bhavati, I am Mukti, I have come to serve you. So the devotee says, Kasmad Akasmad here? How come suddenly you have come? I did not call you. So the Mukti Devi says, Tvam Krishna Deva Smaranena Bhavato Dasi Padam Prapita. Because you are a devotee of Krishna, I have become your Dasi. So devotee becomes angry. He says, Dure Tisht Managanagasi. So he says, stay away, O abominable one. So Mukti Devi, she becomes surprised. Katham Kuryad Anaryamai, what wrong I have done? Why are you giving me gali? I have come to serve you and you are giving me all bad words. So devotee says, Tad Gandhan Nij Nama Chandan Rasale Pasya Lopo Bhavet. Just by your fragrance, my desire for bhakti will go away. So the devotee is not interested in this impersonal liberation because there is no service there. So devotees, some devotees, they may accept other 4 types, but as they grow, love becomes prominent. And Vrindavan devotees, all the Brajvasis, they desire only one thing. They desire to please Krishna. And they do not want any of these types of liberation. They are the purest devotees of the Lord. And even if, then in the last, Rupa Goswami describes that if somebody is attached to a particular form, just like Hanumanji, he was attached to Lord Ram. And if Hanumanji is told, look, Krishna is the highest. Lord Ram is an avatar of Krishna. You serve Krishna. Hanuman is not ready. He sees Krishna and Narayan, they are same, but still I am attached to Ram. So therefore now we will see that how Krishna has so very beautiful qualities by which he is the supreme attractive personality. Sorry. So how Vrindavan devotees are the topmost, they are described in this verse from the scriptures, that among the devotees who are dedicated solely to the service of the Lord in prema, the devotees whose hearts have been stolen by Govinda are the best. So the worshippers of Govinda, Krishna, they are best. So although the forms of Vishnu and Krishna, they are non-different according to scriptures, but still Krishna's form is superior because of some reasons. And we'll see what are those reasons which make Krishna the supreme personality of Godhead. So, Krishna has 64 transcendental qualities, and these qualities are described in Bhakti Samrit Sindhu in the second ocean, second part of the ocean, which we will not be discussing in this course, this overall view. So there, and this is also quoted in Chaitanya Charitamrita. There are series of verses which comes in Chaitanya Charitamrita starting from this verse. Ayam neta swayaramyanga sarvasallakshananvitaha ruchras tejasayukta baliyan vayasanvita. So there are so many qualities which are described. So it is said that Krishna has 64 qualities. Lord Vishnu has 60 qualities. He has four qualities less than Lord Krishna. Then Lord Shiva has uh, 55 qualities. He has 5 qualities less than Lord Vishnu. And Brahmaji has, and all of us have 50 qualities only. So now we'll see what are the qualities Lord Shiva has, what more qualities Lord Vishnu has, and what are the qualities which Krishna has, which no one has. So now the qualities of Lord Shiva are described. Sada Sarup Sampraptaha Sarvagyaha Nityanutanaha Satchidananda Sandrangaha Sarva Siddhi Nishevataha. So these are the 5 qualities which we don't have, Lord Shiva has. Sada Swarupa Sampraptaha, he is always situated in his eternal form. The form of Lord Shiva is eternal. That form is Satchidananda Sandrangaha. His body is also Satchidananda. That is the 4th quality. He is Sarvagyaha. He also knows everything. He is Nityanutanaha. He is forever young. We will never find a painting or deity of Lord Shiva with beard, white hair. He is always youthful. And then Sarva Siddhi Nishevataha. He has all the mystic powers. So practically, Lord Shiva has same body as Krishna, Satchidananda. He is eternal. He is omniscient. So these are the qualities which Lord Shiva has. Then Lord Vishnu has 4 more qualities, 5 more qualities that Lord Shiva does not have. Avataravali Bijam Hatari Gatadayakaha. So first is Avichintya Mahashakti. Avichintya Mahashakti means Lord Vishnu has inconceivable powers. And we see that in the Brahma Vimohan Leela, that Krishna produced all the spiritual and material worlds in many forms. So therefore, these qualities are present in Krishna also. But Lord Vishnu has these qualities and Lord Krishna manifests these qualities in more potential, more potency. So Avichintya Mahashakti, then Avataravali Bijam. So all the incarnations in this material world comes through Lord Vishnu. They do not come from Krishna. They come through Vishnu, through the Purusha avatars. Mahavishnu, Garbhodakshaya Vishnu, Shirodakshaya Vishnu. So these Vishnu forms, they are the Bij of all the avatars. Hatari Gatadayakaha. Hatari Gatadayakaha. Lord Vishnu, he gives liberation to whoever he kills. And whatever is there on the slide, it shows that Krishna has all these qualities in even greater quantity. It is more amazing in Krishna. Hatari Gatadayaka. And then Atma Rama Ganakarshati, and we discussed just now. Lord Vishnu attracts even liberated souls like Kumaras, like Sukadeva Goswami. He got attracted. When he took birth, he was there in the womb of his mother for 16 years. 16 years he was not coming out of the womb of his mother because he was fearful that if I'll come out of the womb, I'll become covered and trapped by this material nature. Maya will trap me. So Vyasadeva, his father, he had to go to Lord Krishna, who is Yogeshwara, who is the master of this material energy. He brought Lord Krishna, and when Lord Krishna gave him assurance that my material energy will not touch you, then only he came out. And when he came out, he did not stay at home. He walked off without dressing, without dressing himself, without any of the sanskars. He just walked off. And it is described that tasya putro mahayogi samdrinyar vikalpakah ekantamadirunidro gudho mudha iveyate. So tasya putro, the putra, the son of Vyasadeva, he was a great mystic yogi. He was monist, perfectly situated in Brahman platform. But every father, every parent wants his son to become devotee. So Vyasadeva was not different. He also wanted that Shukadeva Goswami is a liberated soul, but he should become a devotee. He was a Brahmavadi. Vyasadeva wanted him to become a bhakta. So he sent few of his disciples behind him. And these disciples, they glorified Krishna's beautiful compassion, Krishna's merciful nature. And when Shukadeva Goswami heard one of these verses from Bhagavatam, where Utana's deliverance is described. Aho bakiyam stankala kutam jigam sayapyadyarpya sadhavi lebe gatim dhatri uchitam tatonyam tamavadayalum sharanam brajema. So this verse describes who is more merciful than Krishna, who gave liberation to him Putana. She came to kill him, but he gave her position of Dhatri in the spiritual world. So that is how Krishna attracts everyone, even liberated souls. So these are the five qualities which Vishnu has and Lord Shiva does not have. Now, there are four qualities which Lord Krishna has that Vishnu also do not possess. So what are these four qualities? First is Krishna is like an ocean filled with the waves of pastimes. Krishna performs so many pastimes, not like Lord Vishnu. Lord Vishnu does not have so many pastimes as Krishna. Lord Krishna performs leelas of Madhurya Rasa. He is always surrounded by his dear devotees. Lord Krishna plays flute. Lord Vishnu does not play flute. And Lord Krishna's beauty and opulence is even beyond comparison, more than Lord Vishnu. So first is Sarvadbhuta Chamatkara Leela Kallola Varidhi. Just like the waves of the ocean, Krishna's pastimes like an ocean filled with the waves of pastimes. That is called Leela Madhuri. Krishna Rayate Kakela Sarvottama Nara Leela Nara Bapotahar Swarup Gopavesha Venukara Navakishora Natavara Nara Leela Hoy Anurup. So, of all the pastimes of Krishna, the pastime of Krishna in a human form is the foremost. In that form, he is taking a gopavesh as a cowherd boy, has a flute in his hand. Navakishora Natavara, a very youthful, small boy, which attracts everyone. Leela Kallola Varagi, that is Leela Madhuri. Then, Prema Madhuri. So his pastimes of conjugal love, they are unparalleled. And then, Krishna plays flute. Tri Jaganmanasa Karashi Murali Kalapujita. So when Krishna plays flute, there are so many transformations happen everywhere in the moving and non-moving beings. Nija samasaka sange gogana charanga range vrindavane swachanda vihar yar venu dhvani suni sthavar jangama prani pulak kampa ashru vahedhar. So when Krishna would roam around in Vrindavan, gogana charana range, to just graze the cows. And as he's walking through Vrindavan, he would play his flute. But when Krishna would play his flute, Yar Venu Dhvani Suni Sthavar Jangama Prani, Sthavar Jangam, moving and non-moving beings, they would start melting. Stones would melt, rivers would become stunned, trees would bend, so many transformations would happen. So that is the power of flute of Krishna. So therefore, in the Govardhan Leela also, when Krishna was holding Govardhan with one hand, and with other hand he took out his flute and he was now playing his flute. So all the Gopas, they told Krishna, Krishna, please don't play flute. We have seen the effects of your flute. When you play flute, the stones melt, rivers stop. So if you are playing this flute, this Govardhan may go into ecstasy and melt, and we'll all get killed under Govardhan. Please don't play flute. So that is the quality of Krishna. That is Krishna's flute. That is called Venu Madhuri. And then last is Rupa Madhuri. Krishna is so very beautiful that he is also bewildered and attracted to his own beauty. So there is a story which comes that one time Krishna was in the palace of Dwarka. And the palace of Dwarka, the floor was so very shiny, you could see your reflection. And one time Krishna looked down and he was so very captured and enamored seeing the beauty of himself. And he forgot that this is his own reflection. He sat down and he started looking and wondering, who is this beautiful person who has such beautiful reflection? So that is how beauty is. Krishna is Rupa Madhuri. So रूप देखी अपनार कृष्णेरा होइला चमत्कार आस्वादिते मने उठे काम सौ सौभाग्य यार नाम सौंदर्यादि गुणग्राम यही रूप नित्य तार धाम. So it is described रूप देखी अपनार. When Krishna saw his form, कृष्णेरा होइला चमत्कार. Krishna also went into ecstasy. आस्वादिते मने उठे काम. He wanted to taste that beauty more and more. So therefore, the beauty of Krishna, the body of Krishna is Saundaryadi Gunagram. It is the city of beauty. So that is the glory of Krishna's beauty, which is unparalleled. So Krishna's beauty is quintessence of all the beautiful things which is available in the whole creation. Sorry. So anyways, so we have completed this fourth chapter. So we'll stop here and we'll continue tomorrow with the fifth chapter where Rupa Goswami describes how devotional service is so pure that it does not depend on birth, rituals of purification, and varnashram dharma. We'll stop here. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna, Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Shri Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu ki jai. If anybody has any questions, they can put on the chat or we'll stop. Okay, we'll stop here. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna.